Welcome to the Teaching and Learning Academy's Portfolio Structure presentation. There are three major elements to a faculty portfolio: the educational and professional background, the individualized learning plan, and the supporting artifacts for each faculty learning outcome, or flow. The first section, Education and Professional Background, is a brief resume of the candidate's educational and professional accomplishments. This is not an exhaustive description of all accomplishments, but only the highlights of the candidate's professional development activities at Valencia outside the portfolio process, and the most significant accomplishments prior to the candidate's work at Valencia, if this is applicable. The second element is the ILP. At this point in the portfolio process, the faculty learning outcomes have been approved. This means that the candidate's outcomes will not be reevaluated by the panel. However, panelists will assess and rank the candidate's professional philosophy. Part of the criteria for this evaluation will be considering how well the documentation of the faculty learning outcomes reflects and aligns with the philosophy. Therefore, you will not be able to rank the philosophy without first reviewing the supporting documents for each flow. The third element of the portfolio is the supporting artifacts for each faculty learning outcome. Each flow has 4 sections that are assessed separately. The first section is the adequate preparation section, which is the candidate's description of what he or she did to prepare to do the work of the flow. The second section is the appropriate methods section, which describes the teaching, librarian, or counseling strategies the candidate used when implementing the project or intervention with students. The third section is the significant results. It describes in terms that are clear to all members of the panel, including the out-of-discipline panelists, the results of the intervention. And finally, the reflective critique section has 2 parts. The first part is a general reflection of the process of completing the flow, and the second part is an analysis of essential competencies addressed in the faculty learning outcome and how each of those competencies aided the student learning and helped the candidate to become a better counselor, teacher, or librarian. A flow that addresses only the professional commitment competency, as in the case of completing the digital professor or a certification for professional skills, may only need to discuss how the work helped the candidate become a better counselor, teacher, or librarian because the work was not implemented with students. The second part of the reflection also includes an analysis of how the strategies the candidate used to demonstrate each of these essential competencies in the flow might be improved. Faculty portfolios are assessed using Valencia's standards of scholarship. These standards were developed by the American Association of Higher Education and adapted by Valencia faculty for use in all of Valencia's scholarly work. In fact, those of you familiar with action research will recognize these standards as the elements of action research too. Valencia's faculty portfolio rubric combines the portfolio elements, standards of scholarship, and the criteria statements. These criteria statements describe the quality of performance for each level of achievement within a portfolio element. It is important for a rubric to be applied as consistently as possible from panel to panel, division to division, and campus to campus. This training is a critical piece of working towards that consistency. Panelists must set aside their personal interpretations of levels of achievement and discipline themselves to apply the rubric criteria to the portfolio work. You will use the portfolio report form to assess the mock portfolio in this training and your candidate's portfolio. When you print out the portfolio report form, you will see that it combines the elements of a portfolio with the elements of a faculty portfolio rubric. You can find this document outside this course on the TLA website on the Candidate Information page and on the Panel Review page. Thanks for your attention. You are now ready to begin assessing the mock portfolio.